What's up, guys? Gonna do a quick settings video on Gears of War as well as a little bit of the Gamester tarantula settings real quick. You can also use these settings on the G7 Pro, etc. Just wanted to start off by showing the settings and my benchmark real quick. As you can see, I'm basically hitting the cap. This game, the beta currently has a 150 FPS cap. As you can see, I'll show you right here, just temporarily for the beta. I noticed this because I could run the lowest settings possible and it would still hit 150 no matter what. So I've upped some of the settings to improve the quality, um, as well as just not make the game look as blurry. As you can see, I'm only using 40% of my GPU. So yeah, here's some settings. Just gonna go over this real quick. As you can see, most of them right there. Uh, One sec. But yeah, these settings will help you get more frames, lower latency, just overall make your game feel better. As you can see, we go to control scheme. I'm sure you guys have watched all the other Gears of War pros for their controller guides and how to nasher, that kind of thing. So I won't go too in depth on this. Basically, everyone uses modern control scheme or modern alt. Both of these are good options. The legacy options are not good. They're clunky. You should basically switch to modern or modern alt for sure. I play on custom bindings because I'm used to COD. I'm basically a top Call of Duty player, so I'm just used to the bindings in COD. I've made my bindings very similar. But yeah, basically default aim assist, toggle aim off, toggle sprint. Some people like this off as well. I'm just used to it on. Again, I play COD. Remember last aim state off. This is so it resets your sniper to the lowest zoom every time. Slide to cover on. This is good. Auto look horizon off for sure, so you have control when you're sprinting around. Allow automatic. I had this on. I don't know why I reset, but this is on. It's supposed to help with your up A and just peeking around the corners. In general, good setting. But yeah, here's what you guys are mostly here for: the graphics. Obviously, full screen exclusive is the best if you want the lowest latency. I like having multiple tabs open and streaming and whatever, so I usually play on full screen borderless. VSync off. Upscaling method DLSS. Like I said, I was only using 40% of my GPU, so I have a lot of headroom. I'm just playing on quality. Max FPS unlimited, because again, the game caps it at 150 anyway. Frame generation off. Oh, it's disabled for the beta anyway, but you don't want to use that ever. It causes so much input delay. It's just not good for comp games. Custom preset is because I'm basically playing on mostly low. But if you have a lot of VRAM, or like I said, for my example, I'm only using 40% of my GPU, you can actually up your textures. I'm probably going to use high now that I realize that I'm not using that much. And as you can see on my Steam overlay in the top right here, I'm basically getting 150 frames solid. It rarely ever dips. Obviously, each PC will be different. If your frames are dipping, then just put everything to low. Get the best performance you can get. But for people with a little more GPU headroom, 4070s, 4080s, that kind of thing, you could pretty much copy these. You just want textures on high. Will make your characters in the game just look a lot better, so the game doesn't look like Roblox. Post processing, this is for like your anti-aliasing mostly. You can use ultra or high. I believe ultra is 16x, which is what people normally use. So your edges don't look blurry at all. The game will look much better. Motion blur off, of course. Depth of field off. These are all pretty much competitive settings. Like you want that off, or as low as it goes. Hair strands off has a high effect on your FPS. Again, I have a lot of headroom. I want the game to look good. Detail objects on. The rest of this you can be off. Variable rate shading you do want on. It helps your FPS a lot. Chromatic aberration off. All this off. Low. Audio. Here's a tab that not many people talk about. You want competitive focus. I play with EQ on, so my audio is naturally just very loud. Yours might be different, but the main thing is the down here. Environmental audio. If you don't want to hear the fire or the ambience, whatever, you can turn this off. I personally enjoy hearing it. You can still turn it down here manually. This is a great setting, by the way. Every game should have this in it. Menu narrator, that's pointless, of course. Enemy footsteps. I have noticed that this is slightly too loud, so I'm going to go to 4 on both of these. 6, I was hearing people from like 50 meters away, and it sounded like they were right behind me. So again, this is a great setting for your own teammates. You want to put this low. For the enemies, you do want to turn them up a little bit. Like I said, 4 might be too high for most, but I'm gonna try it. Um, I would definitely say put it like at least up to, it gives it a slight boost so you can hear when people are sprinting behind you, flanking you, whatever. This is a great feature. Hit markers on. I'm used to COD. I like the sound of hit markers. I just leave that on. I don't touch any of this, but I'm sure there will be better fine tuning. Yep. And then interface tab. This is where you can get your ping, so network status overlay. That'll display on the bottom when you're in a match. It'll tell you your ping and if you're packet lossing, etc. You definitely want that on for sure. I'm pretty sure that's about everything. Camera shakes, vibrations, all that off. Yeah, pretty sure that's everything. In game at least. Now I'm gonna hop over real quick to the Gamester app, like I was saying. Oh wait, I didn't go into senses and all that. Sorry guys. So yeah, I play with custom bindings. Up here, you can bind each button. Uh, like I said, I'm used to COD bindings, so mine are different. You can mess with that however you like. All this default. Sensitivity is pretty much personal preference. You do want it between, I would say, like 16 to 24 is the most recommended range that a lot of the Gears Pros are using. If you do like it a little faster, like this, for example, I like to be able to flick around faster and my movement, etc. Be able to just be able to be faster in general. But then when I scope down, I like having that control, so that's why mine is slightly lower. Aim acceleration, I play on 1 just because again I'm from COD. I'm sure the other Gears Pros like this a little higher because you can turn on people quicker, you can hit movements faster. Feel free to mess with aim acceleration, but I would recommend sensitivities are pretty similar for everyone. Dead zones, left stick inner. The inner dead zone is basically for your drift to counteract your drift and how micro precise when you move the inner of the stick is. So for the left, I leave it on 1. I also leave the max at 65. This is so you can strafe faster and hit your peaks of your stick a little faster. On the right stick, you always want to leave your outer dead zone over 9 for sure. This just gives you the most range of motion, the most accuracy. 1 is default. That's 100% of your stick. I like 95 because it feels like a slight aim acceleration, just a very little, but I still have full control of my aim. It feels good. And then I have the gamester Tarantula 8K, so I don't have any drift. I run a very low dead zone, so I can make micro adjustments very easy, flick on people, etc. Adaptive triggers off, controller vibration off, motion controls off. That's what I use. Um, Now I'll hop over to Gamester. You can see that on Gamester, I do not use any dead zones in the Gamester app. I just control them through the game directly. It's way more precise that way, and you don't have dead zones stacking on top of each other, which sometimes causes problems. Um, as you can see over here, I do play PC only. For the console guys, this might be a little different. But for the most part, as long as you're on a G7 Pro, a G7 Pro 8K, Tarantula Pro, any of the ones with the Gamester TMR sticks, I recommend these settings. So for your dead zones, you can put this to 0, no problem. I like having a little bit of dead zone because I play claw, and I notice that sometimes I accidentally hit my triggers when I don't want to. So I play with 2 and then 95 again, just so I hit that peak a little quicker. On your sticks, also the engine has no problem supporting 8K. Like I said in the benchmark, I'm getting full FPS, no problems with 8K. I don't get any stuttering. So you can run 8K on this game. It feels great. Now into the stick settings. Wait a second. That's not right. Okay, that's weird. My settings adjusted. But anyway, in the stick settings, you're going to want 0 dead zone, 100 max. Again, like I said, I control all this in the game so that there's no dead zones stacking on top of each other. And it just allows the game engine to handle all that, which gives you a more like natural feeling that you're used to over the years. Um, Linear curve. Uh, oh, anti dead zone. Don't touch this on PC. You really don't need it. It, in fact, will harm your aim a lot. But if you are on console, I have heard that a slight initial anti-dead zone like this, like under 1, it will actually make your sticks feel a lot more like responsive on console. So feel free to try that. Again, I'm on PC, so I'm not gonna touch it. Linear curve, that's just default. It's what we've been playing with for years. Raw stick trajectory, you want that for sure. Um, Now for gears, I will say anything from 10 to 12 bit is good. I usually play on 11 bit. I'm not sure why it reset to 10, but I usually play on 11. 10, 11, 12, they all feel really good for gears. 12 sometimes can feel a little too fast when I'm using the long shot, for example, or the higher precision weapons. But 10 and 11 feels really good. Same settings for your right stick, raw trajectory, 11 bit, linear, same dead zones. Everything's the same. Uh, so yeah, that's what I like. For Gears of War, like I said, in-game settings, we just went over that real quick. I will link a video in the comments below that shows your Nvidia control panel settings, because this will actually help with your FPS a lot and just make the game look better in general. As well as it helps a lot with your controller input delay. So, yeah, I appreciate everyone stopping by. That's pretty much the end of the video. Like I said, check out that Nvidia video I'm gonna leave in the description. It will definitely help you out a lot. But yeah, I appreciate y'all stopping by.